Meet Jonila. He's an entrepreneur. He's a country director at Unziki Distribution. He's the head of productions at Street Jamboree. He's a podcaster at Digital Music Education Series. He's a manager at Jonatos. He's a blogger at jonila.net. The long and short of it is that this guy understands what it means to do music digitally. Digital music distribution and everything that has to do with music. This guy knows not just a little bit, not just a little tiny bit, knows a whole lot more about distributing of music in the Volta region, in the world at large. The first interesting observation he made was that Volta region, we have no history on the internet anywhere. No history as always on the internet anywhere. How did he come up with that? But he made a very good point.
So the digital space is actually the new gold mine in terms of putting visibility on what you want to achieve. So for us to start properly, what we need to do is by defining our end goals, what we want to achieve. Volta region, what do we want to be known for? Next 15, 20 years. That should be the end result we all have on paper before we kickstart the initiatives. Otherwise, it will be a repetition of certain events, activities over the period without knowing what we want to achieve after a certain period of time. Please, are we following the conversation? Now, the digital space, what can we do? It's very unfortunate that as we speak, we still don't have any authentic source of our own history on the internet. If you come across any, then it's probably somebody's university project. And even these ones are limited because it's for academic purpose. It's not really to, you know what I mean? So as we speak now, it would be very nice if every district assembly, municipal, we have to take it upon ourselves that for the next 2 years, we are going to write the proper history of ourselves. Let's have the true Anglo history, the Vedome, the various divisions, because I know what Elombini speaks is different from what somebody in Hohwe speaks. What makes our languages different? And talking about our identity, even how we put on the cloth we wear, and all those things, they all have representations and the messages they carry, the messages, the mood, and all these things. So on the digital space, we can actually, be very pragmatic about this by putting in initiatives that we want to create a multimedia platform where we will tell people, the whole world, about our language, the differences, our names, and all that.
I said that wasn't enough. What blew my mind is that he's saying we have abandoned or we have no legacy Ewe names. Like Ewe names. He said it, I was like, what do you mean? We have Selon, we have Mauli, we have Malco, we have Maolom, we have Sesi, Seto, say everything. But he made a solid point. All those names are technically Christian names. Wait a minute. So what happened to our local indigenous names? The Agbezuge, the local names. Let's go listen.
Looks like in the Volta region, our names is mostly Christian names. Maunyo. And I keep asking myself, do we really have the authentic Ewe name? Yes. Do we have that? Because it looks like Maunyo, Mauli. But my father comes from Nungwa, and my name is Neodai. So if it wasn't Wovanu, there should be a traditional name given to me at home. But I don't have any. And that is, but I believe that we have them, but we just don't, it's not part of us. It's in the background. These are some of the things that makes us beautiful as people. These are informations that we need to put on the internet. YouTube, of course, is one of the biggest platforms. These conversations can go out there to enlighten people to understand what is missing. Every time of the year like this, we should have people coming home to learn. Now, how do they learn? It's as a result of the information they already digest from the digital space. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and all these platforms.
Now, he didn't just leave it hanging in there. He provided some solid solutions about the way forward, what we need to do, not just as a region, but as a country, to make sure that we put the name out there, not just culture, tourism, music, and everything, but all that it has to do to promote yourself in the world of music, in the world of tourism, in the world of creatives in the 21st century.
It will make a lot of sense if we can have dedicated channels at the regional level managed by the Regional Coordinating Council, where we employ because some of the digital experts, the social media influencers in Ghana here, the big ones are all from the Volta region. But how are we taking advantage of these people to also put spotlight on our culture, the language, and everything that we represent as a region? This is not just about showcasing what we are as people, but it generates revenue as well. Sometimes I feel like our brothers and sisters, uncles, fathers in position, they feel like engaging some of the youth in terms of digital is not something that is so important. Or social media, everybody can create social media. That is not it. But what we do with this, because let's look at Dubai, for instance. We are in Ghana, but everybody is claiming Dubai. Everybody wants to go to Dubai. Simply because you went on social media and there's a dedicated Visit Dubai social media managed by the state government. The state. There's a dedicated YouTube channel where every day somebody is moving around creating content. Yesterday, Krylov launched his ebook and the content in there is beautiful. What are we going to do with what he launched yesterday right from here? There should be a billboard somewhere at Anyawase, at the various entrance to Ho, where when you scan those documents, you can be able to travel with it. You can be able to visit Ho with it. We don't have anything like that. Volta region, we have a lot, of course, everybody is coming to the region every weekend, holidays and everything. It's one of the biggest holiday destinations we have in Ghana. Weekends. Destinations we have in the country. But the situation is this. It is not organized very well on digital space. It is either a hotel running their social media with less detail about the region or none. And the young people traveling across the region, creating content, telling the story, speaking our language, we don't use them for anything. And it's very unfair. Now, I'm requesting a different digital engagement with stakeholders for them to see how much we can earn as a region if we decide to invest so much into the digital space just to promote our culture, just to promote our language and creative arts, in general. Let me come back to music. Let's see how Chief One, Kenny Ice, Edem, and the young arts in recent times are pushing the region on the map. In recent times, Voltarians are doing so much on TikTok. Now it's easy for you to see 100,000, 200,000 people using songs by Chief One, Kenny Ice as a result of the dance challenges and all that. And it is the first time in so many years we've actually seen our people appreciating what we represent or appreciating our own. It doesn't mean that we don't want to do it. It simply means that we need somebody to engineer the process. It simply means that we want to see our authorities showing interest in ourselves before we, the younger ones, can be able to follow. Please, am I saying the truth? Yes. If we are able to do that, we can make a lot. Visit Volta is happening. But how are we trying to engage the various parts of the region in this conversation? It shouldn't be centered. Let's take it to the other parts of the country as well. There should be pockets of activities. Why am I saying this? With these pockets of activities, we can be able to craft a narrative about the Sugakope Bridge, because that is another aspect of tourism. When there is no tourism commercial on Ghana National Television that you will not see Sugakope Bridge, because it's the longest footbridge. What are we in West Africa? What are we doing with the sand in Keta? What are we doing with the porters at Vume before you get to Sugakope? You see, these are the things that we need to take advantage of, package it nicely, give it to the world for them to accept us. If they appreciate us, all the stereotypes and all that we are battling at our workplaces and all that will drastically reduce. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was very powerful.
We have to expand the circle. Those of us who are not here, how do we reach out to them? with this kind of conversation, because no matter how you take it, important conversations like this can only happen in situations like this, in gatherings like this. That is why I will reinforce what I said previously, that the VRCC should partner with content creators, because a lot of us are doing amazing when it comes to content, so that these conversations, they are recorded. It should go out. I would even suggest that now that we have Volta Fair happening every year, it will make sense if we also have something called Volta Month, where once in every year, Volta Month will concentrate on our culture, tourism, and everything, just like how we have Independence Day, right? It should be a very significant date that matters to the Volta region. These are some of the things that we can do to make sure that the call we are pushing across will work. Why am I saying this? You see, we studied English from zero, right, to where we are now. We probably stopped using English on a regular after tertiary. But our local language has not been with us for so long like that. Many of us, of course, I can speak Ebe, but mine is for teasing. But for communication and all these things, it has to be part of that. Because where do we use language a lot? The churches, gatherings like this. And we all home. And we all use English as the medium for communication. So you see, for us to be able to have vernacular Ebe as the language widely spoken at places like this, it is a conscious effort that we can achieve, but not with one day. It takes time. How many ever scholars do we have here? That goes on radio a month. What are we doing? I'll keep asking this question. What are we doing with the few that we know? Our uncle Komisenyo and all the amazing people we know that speak ever fluently. It looks like they are stuck with the traditional platform. Somebody is supposed to move them. Let's give them a mainstream platform so that they give us education. It wouldn't be bad if an organization in partnership with government is sponsoring a platform that will let Ebe as a program goes on the internet. You see, he mentioned if we cannot have our own version of Google, we can do it. But you see, those are not initiatives that an individual can stand up and go and do it. We mentioned Dubai, we mentioned Netherlands, we mentioned America and all these things. They did not just stand up by doing this, maybe creating a page on Facebook. There should be a direct conversation with the owners of these platforms, that this is what we want to do. Next year, it will be very nice if we can have a solid partnership with TikTok, Volta Fair. TikTok should come here so that every conversation that goes on reach the larger Ghanaian ever community on the internet, because this conversation is not related, it's not limited to Volta. It's about our brothers and sisters even beyond Ghana, Benin, Nigeria, and other places that we know they speak Ebe. Of course, we know that Ebe is not limited. Ebe is not the only subject. What's the name? Language we speak in the Volta region, but it is quite paramount among other languages, and that is the only way we can also unite everybody. Now, whilst this conversation is going on, there are many of us that are also good when it comes to social media and all that. This is where I also think that you look into it. Look at the avenues that you think are good for you. Contact the coordinators. Okay, I can do this. I can be doing this live update, because whilst this is going on, no conversation, there's no interaction on Twitter, Instagram, or anything. So it's limited here. But for us to be able to reach the wider audience, we have to employ all those avenues. At least this should be going live on any of the platforms out there, because if this is going on radio, any of the stations in town, I believe we'll have a lot of callers trying to contribute. So we should expand our space if we really want to go out, because the conversations, the education, the contributions and everything coming on right now, it looks like it's limited. And right from here, you may not even see 2 minute, 3 minutes video from here. And that is not how we can grow. Now, talking about a movie, we all know that the creative space in the region, as we speak about now, music is the biggest, right? We don't have any major movie production that we can say, okay, this is the latest production, movie production in 2023. We don't have that now. But now that you have a union, you have an association, these are some of the things that I think you should be able to trumpet that, okay, we need to do solid production among that particular fraternity. If they are able to understand that it's good to copy from somewhere, it's good to use the one the Yoruba people use, the red beads and all that. But if they get the education, why they're supposed to use jumper and all those things, I think we'll begin to see it in our movies as well. Then we can now approach people and say, okay, this is our production. We are looking for opportunity. Then again, the people into the movie space in the Volta region should also spread their tentacles. We should be able to mention their names just like the way we are mentioning those in the movie space. So the branding should start from them first. Then it will be accepted commercially. Then before I end, I would want to touch on our festivals. Flexa was asking how the Asogli Festival is trying to involve the creatives. But before Elon touch on that one, I would want to appeal. Everybody sitting here is coming from a particular traditional area. And honestly speaking, it is becoming boring, the kind of traditional festivals we have now. And the way you treat the Grand Deba is also not nice. Our festivals is all about set up drinks and blah, 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 and all that. And those things are not part of our traditional festival. True or false? They are not. Fine, maybe they want a bigger audience to hear, but for me, my concern is when it's time for our traditional festivals, we see so much of the urban social life than our traditional activities. You have limited all the traditional activities that should be able to help the school children. We, the youth, know. Participate in the festival. You've limited that to 10, 20 to people. You don't even invite us. The Grand Deba, the procession to the venue, and that ends it. You don't expect us to grow like that. I'm talking to our uncles, our fathers, the traditional leaders who should know better, because that is not our festival. The Grand Deba is not our festival, but the various activities that you do from Monday to the day you have your Grand Deba, that is where you should involve us. We should get to a point where Monday to Friday, we can decide to let schooling activities or, commercial activities end during a certain time of the day so that we can all involve. If it is community cleaning, you should do it in such a way that we can be involved. If it is dancing and all those things, we should be involved. If it is pouring of libation or, traditional activities, people don't know how to pour libation. People don't know the relevance of those things. Of course, I know, we are struggling because of Christianity and other things that we worship anyway. But again, those are the elements of our tradition and culture that we should know. If we don't know it, it will be very difficult for us to influence our culture. And if you don't teach us the right way, we, the young ones, will not be able to teach the young ones that are coming. That is why today they find so much interest in the telenovelas and all that. And to the extent that some of you have even taken the TV content to radio now. You discuss telenovelas on radio. You see, for us to be able to tackle the challenges that we are having, we first have to deal with it ourselves. We first have to appreciate who we are. We first have to learn how it is done. Then we can pass it on. Otherwise, we'll be passing on something that is not our own anyway.
If you're worried about social media and marketing, he touched on it too, how to brand yourself personally, how to grow your brand, whether it's a small business or a personal brand you're growing, what you need to do on social media to make sure your brand gets to that level.
Marketing has changed. This one goes to those of us running business here. Marketing has changed, and we have to learn how to partner and collaborate with other people who are also into the marketing space. And this one goes to those of us who owns facilities, hotels, real estate, and all that. You see, your audience are now online. Yes. People wake up, the first thing they do is mobile phone. We are all guilty. Before you go to bed, your phone. Because that is the only place you entertain yourself now. And these are some of the things that we watch. You see, he's an influencer, I'm an influencer. It is only Volta region that an influencer will come and doesn't get a discount. Now, this is a smart way of marketing. If he's supposed to pay maybe for 2 days stay, you can decide to give that person a day or two stay and let that person promote your hotel for you for a certain period. That is how it's done. So you see, some top influencers traveling all over the world. They are not paying. They are doing that in exchange. And if we can do that all the time, everybody will know the destinations we have in the Volta region. This is something that we don't do, and I would want us to start doing some of these partnership and collaborations. And to our fellow influencers as well, when these deals come, don't sleep on them. When let them feel that you are doing it, because you can't sleep in a facility and you don't promote the facility. How do you come back next time? In as much as we are saying this doesn't happen, we've also had situations where, they are not satisfied because they complain, oh, you only posted the hotel once. You only did it that. And it's not a nice conversation. It doesn't help us be able to continue to run this. So this is a humble appeal to both of us, those on the facility side and the influencer side, so that we'll be able to project our region together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Jonila, I have one request for you. I would need a Ghanaian version of Artlist. A platform where I can license Ghanaian music for my videos, mix them up with other songs, use them on YouTube, use them on social media without copyright issues. It's going to be a licensing deal where every month I make some payments and into perpetuity or whatever it is. Or maybe revenue sharing, my videos go up and then whatever revenue I make from it, there will be a system to pay something small to the artist, because I love to use my local music. I love to promote my local music. I love to promote Made in Ghana. I love to promote Made in Volta region. But I can't do that. Okay, so please, Joe, you have the answers. Do you mind telling us all about it? So if you had value, if you got value about all that thing, you got value in all that has been said, Jonila said, there was a whole series that I'm doing in the coming weeks also. I've created a playlist up here. Go check that one out, where experts spoke about tourism, experts spoke about the creative space and everything you need to know about growing as a creative, as a musician, and then everything in between. It's Double V again for Visit Volta. Franklin here. I'll see you when I see you. SMA.